Hey, Heather Freeman here with the Painted Playground, and I get to play with paint and teach women how to have more fun playing with paint and making artwork that they love. So, thanks for joining me today. A little different setup, as you can see. I'm outside. Today, life has changed a lot in the past month, as I'm sure it has for a lot of people. And in some regards, I'm loving it. I'm loving having my kids at home and, getting to spend more time with them and seeing them throughout the day rather than sending them off to school and not seeing them until the evening. So in some ways, it's really great. In other ways, it's definitely testing my endurance for patience and for flexibility. So today I came out here because we've had a shift in just where people are at working and doing schoolwork in the house, and my husband needed to get down into my studio because that's kind of the one place where he can shut the door and have a conference call. So and I love having my studio at home. I wouldn't have it any other way, but it's definitely with everything going on, it's shifted things a bit. And so I'm out here today because it's beautiful outside. It's a little chilly. I was hoping it would be warmer and start to stay warmer since we are in April, but it's April in Colorado, and so the temperatures shift. I think up in Denver they actually got some snow, a bunch of snow, like 18 inches of snow. So if that's happening in your neck of the woods, it's happening in my neck of the woods too, where, I'm ready for spring. Things are popping up, flowers are popping up, birds are coming back, the grass is getting greener. And then Mother Nature says, hey, hold on, I'm still here. Winter is still here. And so we get little reminders of that we haven't completely shifted into spring quite yet. So, but that's okay. I brought some stuff. I'm bundled up. I brought extra stuff. I've got my puffy jacket. If I get even colder, I like to stay cozy and warm. So I'm good. I've got my sketchbook here, and I thought we could do a little sketching today. So, if you're just joining, again, I'm Heather Freeman with the Painted Playground. It's so nice to meet you. We've got new followers all the time that are coming online, and so it's so great to see all the new faces that are giving Facebook page a thumbs up with a like. And so let me know if this is something that you want to see more of. I try to pop on here regularly, at least 2 times a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays usually, but I, generally speaking, am kind of, I wouldn't say I'm scatterbrained, but my schedule, I like to be loose, and so I don't get on here at a specific time. But if you would like to make sure you get to see what I'm posting and when I'm doing it live, you can go ahead and hit that follow button, and so you will get notified when I go live. So that's one way to get to be in the know and to know when I'm going to go live and when you can paint along with me. So I've got my sketchbook here today, and just sketching some flowers. Flowers are on my mind. I've been seeing them pop up. Last week, if you watched, I painted a daffodil. I almost said dandelion because I'm seeing those pop up too. But last week it was all about a daffodil. So if you would like to paint that, you can go back and scroll through the Facebook feed and check that out and paint your own daffodil. But today, some of those flowers really get their start in my sketchbook. I love to grab a sketchbook and just doodle, and they don't have to look like the real thing, although sometimes, like, getting out into nature like this and actually sketching what I see is super fun and will end up in a canvas in some shape or form. But because I love to play, I'm not worried about things looking exactly the way they're supposed to look in nature. That's the fun of it for me. And so that comes out in my artwork and in my doodles. And so, I kind of started playing around with some different flowers and just playing around with shapes, really. It's all about playing around with shapes and kind of just following and having fun with where that little inner artist in me wants to go. And so playing around with some different shapes of leaves is always fun, and different ways, flowers look. And then just seeing where it takes me, right? And kind of having fun and being inspired by the outdoors and the shapes that are around me, and then putting those onto the canvas. So, and there's a lot around me right now. I've got pine cones. I've got some, branches that are kind of starting. You can see the little buds for the new season that are coming up, and that's really cool. I see some dead growth around here too from the winter. I guess it's not really dead, it's more, I guess, in hibernation. So that's been, it's got little twigs and little parts that would be fun to draw. A lot of these guys. I live in the woods, and so I've got a lot of pine trees, and a lot of these, the pine needles shed throughout the winter, and die off in fall. And so I've got a lot of these, including in my garden, which I'm going to need to get up soon, so I can let those beautiful yellow daylilies pop up that I've got that are just gorgeous. But right now they're covered in pine needles, so need to get those picked up one of these days soon. So let me just show you just some of the other flowers that I like to do. It's again, like all about the doodling and just having fun. So making shapes, so maybe starting with a circle, adding some petals on, different shapes, different sizes of petals to give it some character, right? We're not about creating perfect little flowers, perfect little shapes. Sometimes the leaves are actually bigger than the flowers. Disproportionate, sure. Fun to draw, absolutely. And is that what I'm going to draw? For sure. So adding some little details in, just some little oval shapes, kind of following up that leaf there. Just super fun to take out a pen, this is not, right, I've got a regular ballpoint pen. Sometimes I like to use more of a micron pen when I'm painting, especially because that ink won't bleed. So like when I put my paint down, the water from the paint won't cause my drawing to wash out. It'll stay on my canvas and add to my canvas, the design. So, but right now I'm just sketching, and sometimes I'll just have a pencil on hand. So this morning it was all about grabbing what worked. I was thinking I would get out here a little bit earlier to try and, see who else was online. But I was checking out my friend Grace, who I've been doing a special 10 days celebrating spring. We've been sharing each other's artwork, and I just love being able to get in there and see what she was. I wanted to see what she was doing and share what she was doing while she was doing it. And so that's why I got on here a little bit later than I normally do. But see, that's the thing. I just kind of, so if you want to, be able to know when I'm going live, the best thing, of course, would be to get on my email list. And then I'll let you know when I'm going live. But you can always hit that follow button. So you can see there, I'm just playing around with some texture and shapes inside of my leaves and my little flowers right there. So I might add another. Kind of reminds me of when you've got a bunch of flowers coming up. I usually draw just one, but let's just do a bunch, right? So tell me, is sketching, doodling, is that something that you've considered doing or you've done before? And what do you like to sketch when you get out your doodle book? It's funny, I was laughing at myself because I'm taking an art class with this amazing woman, Connie. I just, when things happen and you just know they're meant to be. And I came upon her class a couple weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm so glad I said yes to it because just the timing was perfect. I'm loving what she's teaching. Her style of teaching is just incredible. She's just super open and shares a ton. And I'm just learning so much from her. And that's how I stay fresh. That's how I take classes so that I can continually grow and share what I learn with people too. And so, where was I going with this? I completely lost my train of thought. That's what happens when I try to doodle and paint and be creative while talking at the same time. I'm asking both sides of my brain to work, and that doesn't always happen. So I was learning with Connie. She was sharing how she has a sketchbook for several different purposes. And she keeps one in her bag so that when she goes out every day, she's got a sketchbook in her bag. And if she's got 5 minutes of time, 2 minutes of time, whatever, she's got her little sketchbooks she can pull out and do that when she's got a minute. And so, which I love doing as well. And I tried that. I tried doing that recently, and so I put a sketchbook, a new one that I said, okay, because I kind of come and go from doodling and sketching, and I kind of gotten away from it. And so I'm like, all right, it was a great reminder from Connie to get out a sketchbook, put it in my bag, so that when I go out, I've got something to do, waiting for the kids or after school pickup or whatever. So I did that, and then I was leaving today, and I'm like, what bag did I put my sketchbook in? So I'm constantly like, that doesn't necessarily work for me. So I just grabbed another sketchbook and went with it, and like this one, it has a ton of different things in it. It's certainly not dedicated to just doodling. I love the idea, but I'm finding it's not working. So, and that's what you have to do with your own practice is take ideas, suggestions from others, but then really test it out. See if it works for you. You might find that it works. You might find that it doesn't. So, but definitely what really matters is having a sketchbook, right? So, and getting that art on to the canvas. So whether it's your sketchbook is your canvas for the day, or a stretched gallery canvas is your canvas for the day, whatever that canvas is, it's most important to make that time to play, to be creative, because that calling is in there, right? Like, you can't deny that. To deny that is denying being yourself, like being true to you. So we got to let that inner artist out to play. Do some long, God, this kind of reminds me of like a big daisy. Do another. So this one here, I kind of played with some dots, and that kind of reminds me of something that's like end of the season, and you've just got those little seed pods, seed pods, and it's kind of that last crunchy thing that's hanging on of the plant at the end of the season. This one's kind of going crazy, and so it's kind of going into full bloom. Just so play around, see what you like to draw. And you might be drawn to draw flowers. You might be drawn to sketch out and do something else. Your doodles might take you somewhere completely different than this. So have fun doodling. And and I've got a new freebie for you. It's some prompts to get you started. So some painting prompts. And I'll have a link for that in the description, and you just have to put in your email and I'll be able to send that to you. So some painting prompts for you to get you started painting and having some fun playing. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you next time at the canvas. All right, bye for now.